Welcome to AutoSuccess Cyber Corner, the podcast for auto dealer cybersecurity. I'm Kyle Alexander, and this is episode 4, Phishing and Quishing.
This podcast is brought to you by Proton Dealership IT. When your team is focused on selling and servicing vehicles, who is focused on keeping your systems secure? With a 24/7 365 operation, Proton can monitor, detect, and respond to potential network or cyber issues. Sleep easy knowing your dealership is covered.
Right now, I'm joined by Sean Patronis. He's the Director of Information Security at Reynolds and Reynolds. I'm also joined by Ken Wolf. He's a security engineer for Reynolds and Reynolds. He also runs some instant response teams for Proton. Guys, thanks for joining me here today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
So let's start with maybe the easiest question in this topic to get things started. What is phishing and what is quishing? Similarities, differences. Tell me a little bit about phishing and quishing.
Sure, yeah. So I'll take the easy question. I'll let Ken get the hard ones. So phishing is just an overarching term, right, for attacks that come through your email, fraud, malware, delivery, password theft, and much more. So it's basically a generic term that is sending an email, trying to get a response from a victim in some way. So think about it just like actual phishing. You go out, you cast with a lure or with a piece of bait, and you're trying to catch a fish. The bad guys are trying to fish data and money and anything, access to a victim's computer system, essentially. So quishing is a very specific type of phishing, right? So there's all these different types of phishing, just like there is in the real world with phishing. There's, fly fishing, there's, deep water fishing, there's, freshwater fishing, saltwater fish, same thing with the cybersecurity. Quishing is using QR codes to get a victim to click on something or visit a site, and basically uses the innate trust that people may have in some QR system. So QR code stands for quick response code. So those little barcodes there that you see all over the place now. And basically they're trying to get you to scan something with your mobile device and click on a link to a website that may have some bad purpose to have you harvest your email address or your username and your password or do a drive-by download on some malware.
Gotcha. So what's maybe the most common cyber attack strategy when it comes to phishing and quishing?
Yeah, with all the valuable data that exists in email, cloud storage, account takeovers via password theft are a very common attack strategy. It's becoming increasingly less common to see malware programs delivered as attachments and emails. So you double click on it and it runs all the stuff. Attackers want people to click links within emails or attached documents or scan links and QR codes using their phone. Password theft, for instance, usually takes on the form of a link that someone clicks, takes them to a fake login page where they enter credentials, and those credentials are sent back to the attacker. Getting folks on attackers' websites and file shares are the biggest goal now of attackers because it lets them control the methods by which they steal passwords, commit fraud, deliver malware, and get those conversations going where they might talk directly to people.
Gotcha. Now, obviously, these are things that need to be prevented. So maybe what are some things that dealers can do to prevent phishing and quishing from happening? And both of you can answer this one if you both have different ways maybe that dealerships can prevent phishing.
Sure. Associate training is pretty important, right? So we do all these phishing simulations and train our staff to do the right thing and to be wary of the links before they click on them and to make sure that they're getting emails that they expect to get from the people they expect to get them from. So there's some technical trainings you can do with your staff. There's programs out there that will do simulated phishing campaigns against your staff, and you can kind of figure out, okay, who are my risky users? Who are the ones who might fall prey to a convincing advertisement or to click on a link that they're not supposed to click on, thinking that they're going to get $10,000 from Bill Gates or something like that. So training and make sure your employees are aware of the types of attacks that happen and then how to detect those types of attacks. I think that's something that you can do that every person's responsible for in your organization. Something you can do to help train them. Ken, what other technical defenses might we have?
Yeah, so having proven robust technical systems to defend against these attacks is critical. Email filtering, email security is the cornerstone of a good layered defense strategy. So that strategy also includes defenses on systems, your workstations, your networks that prevent, intercept, block attacks. And having all those is great, and that's kind of step one. But it's important that these systems are configured and fully utilized, which is where having a trusted team that has experience configuring, deploying these systems is critical. So you could build or buy the fastest race car, but unless you have a good driver behind the wheel, it's not going to win.
Awesome. I think that's definitely some good stuff for auto dealers to hear, especially about phishing and quishing and how prevalent it can be today. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for
Great.
having
Well,
us.
thank you.